Hello, and welcome to the dungeon. I'm your host, Rob. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the D&D One Ranger, and next video, we'll be taking a look at the Rogue, of course, and that'll finish off the expert class group that they have released so far. So once again, we'll skip over the fluff stuff. D10 hit points hasn't changed. Constitution, of course, hasn't changed. Your saving throws are strength and dexterity, which I believe has not changed. Let me just find my Ranger in the Player's Handbook here. I can follow along, make sure that everything's mostly the same. Yes. Skills, we used to have 3 of animal handling, athletics, insight, investigation, nature, perception, stealth, and survival. And that has also not changed. So, going into the class list, one thing we notice immediately is that, okay, first of all, we've switched again to the prepared spells per spell level as opposed to spells known, which, is generally an improvement in my opinion. But also notice that Rangers have gotten cantrips. I mean, they start at 2, they end at 3, so it's not like it's a huge number of upgrades in that department, but Rangers are getting cantrips, which is pretty interesting. Again, capping out at 5th level spells as per before. If we look at the chart here, we notice that Rangers get something at every level except for 17, which technically they're now getting 5th level spells. Well, they were anyways. But, so, you're still getting something, I guess. Just not a class ability there. So, most of this stuff all looks the same. Starting at level 1, you're going to get expertise in 2 skills of your choice. They recommend stealth and survival, but it says you can just choose whichever ones you want. This is actually an improvement because the other one, they didn't have expertise in the player's handbook at all. They got an expertise-like ability that for some reason we just never called expertise in Tasha's. I don't know why. I like just calling it expertise better, keep it in the same category. It avoids confusion of like, hey, does this thing that gives me double my proficiency bonus stack with expertise? Because it's not actually called expertise here. But they've cleared that up, so, that's a little better. Favorite enemy. You are adept at focusing your ire on a single foe. You always have the Hunter's Mark spell prepared, and it doesn't count against the number of spells you can prepare. Moreover, you don't have to concentrate on the spell once you cast it. It lasts for its full duration, and until you end it as a bonus action or you are incapacitated. Not having to concentrate on it is awesome. I also like that, you always have it prepared. Doesn't count against your number of spells. That's also nice. But yeah, just not having to concentrate on the spell and it always lasts for its full duration is excellent. That is a huge improvement, especially because you could tell that they never really knew what to do with those kind of abilities, right? They always had like favorite enemy in not just 5th edition, but previous editions as well. And, in some editions it was like, oh, you could pick like orcs or goblins or stuff like that, which was always a great ability at low level. But by the time you were like 12th or 13th level, like how many orcs and goblins are you fighting, I like that this is just something that's going to carry over for your entire career. It's always going to be useful. It's just a much improved ability, in my opinion. First level, spell casting. So again, Rangers didn't get spells last time until 2nd level. So this is already an improvement as well. They also recommend the spells like guidance. Rangers never had guidance before. But again, you can prepare 2 0-level spells and 2 1st-level spells of your choice. Any spell you prepare for this class must be a primal spell, and it can be from any school of magic except evocation. So, not too bad. We already saw with bards. Bards were limited to only 4 different schools of magic that they could choose from, but then they got their healing spells from their Songs of Restoration, and they got their magical secrets still, although they have less of them. But I like that, this leaves Rangers with a pretty broad range of spells to choose from. So, pretty good. Of course, it's, just prepared, so you can change them out with a long rest, blah, blah, blah. That's mostly the same. Spell slot progression appeared to be the same. Once again, though, it's prepared spells per spell level. So you are limited to, if you have level 20 Ranger here, you can have 2 5th level spells prepared. You can't have a couple extra ones just in case you need them. You've got 2 and that's it. But I still think it's better than what it was before. Fighting style. So whenever you gain a feat at higher levels, what am I doing? You've honed your martial prowess. You gain one of the following fighting style feats of your choice. So apparently it's going to be a feat now for fighting style. You gain archery, defense, or 2-weapon fighting. Whenever you gain a feat at later levels, fighting style feats are among your options, even though you aren't a member of the warrior group. All right, so that's actually kind of interesting because it kind of hints at the idea that barbarians and monks might be able to get fighting styles, since they and fighters are the members of the warrior group, and previously they did not have fighting styles. So I don't know if it's going to be available to them at low level or if they will have to take them from feats. I guess we'll find out when Wizards releases the warrior group. But that is rather interesting to notice that those classes may have the option of taking fighting styles. I kind of like that. Now, the fighting styles you have available are the same ones you had in the original Player's Handbook: archery, defense, 2-weapon fighting. There's probably no point to things like, what was the druidic one from Tasha's? Crap, I can't remember. The one that let you choose druid cantrips, whatever it's called, because now you actually have cantrips, druidic warrior or something like that. So, that one probably would serve no purpose in these new rules because you'll already have cantrips anyways, right? So level 3, you get a subclass. They give us the Hunter in this, which we'll be looking at in a minute. But, you can choose one of the other ones. Level 4, we get a feat just like everybody else. Level 5, extra attack. Level 6, subclass feature. Again, kind of nice. I think before, what did we get? Do we have a subclass feature? No. Before we had favorite enemy and natural explorer, and then we got the subclass feature at 7. So now we get roving at 7 instead. So your speed increases by 10 feet while you aren't wearing heavy armor. You also have a climb speed and a swim speed equal to your speed, which is pretty fast. I like that quite a bit. Imagine if you were like a wood elf ranger with 35 movement. Now you got 45 movement. That's pretty good. I mean, it's not quite monk territory, but you're also not a monk, so, much better already. Level 8, you get a feat. Level 9, expertise and 2 skill proficiencies of your choice. So, not too bad. At this point, you've already got expertise in 4 skills? Yes. Level 10, subclass feature. Before level 10, we got an improvement to natural explorer, and we got hide in plain sight. I'll probably take the hide in plain sight or the subclass feature. Natural explorer was so. But, that's good. Level 11, Tireless. So before at 11, we got a subclass feature, I think. But now we're getting Tireless. The promo forces now help fuel you on your journeys, granting you the following benefits. You get temporary hit points whenever you finish a long or short rest, equal to D8 plus your proficiency bonus. Okay. I wonder if Beastmasters could give those to their pet. Maybe that might be interesting. But anyways, I guess we'll find out when we get there. If you're exhausted when you finish a short rest, your level of exhaustion decreases by 1. I mean, exhaustion sucks, so I guess that's good. But on the other hand, I'm normally not getting exhausted. I guess if you wanted to multi-class with Berserker, though, hey? Combo. Anyways, level 12, we get another feat. Level 13, Nature's Veil. You invoke spirits of nature to magically hide yourself from view. As a bonus action, you can expend a spell slot and become invisible until the end of your next turn. That's kind of nice. Bonus action and any spell slot. So you could literally just turn invisible with a first level spell slot, I'm guessing. At least that's what it seems to indicate. Pretty good. Level 14, we're getting another subclass feature. We used to get a favorite enemy improvement and vanish. Favorite enemy. Level 15, we're getting feral senses. Your connection to the forces of nature grants you blind sight with a range of 30 feet. Okay. being blinded sucks, so that's okay. Level 16, of course, we're getting another feat or ability score improvement. Level 17, we get nothing, as I mentioned earlier, but we do get 5th level spells. Level 18, we get Foe Slayer. Your Hunter's Mark now deals an extra 1d10 damage to its target rather than an extra 1d6. And that's not a huge improvement, but Hunter's Mark's an ability you're probably going to be using a lot, especially if it doesn't require concentration. And, just making it better is better. So, either way, it's definitely an improvement over Feral Senses, I would say. Yeah. Level 19, we get another feat. And level 20, we get an epic boon. They suggest Fortitude, but you can take another one of your choice. Then they go through and they list a bunch of spells that they recommend. Whatever. And we get into the subclasses. So in this document, we get the Hunter, which of course was one of the original ones. I figured we'd probably get Hunter. Even before I saw the document, I was like, yeah, it'll probably be Hunter. Because they just did Beastmaster in Tasha's, and it's a little more up to date. And frankly, a little bit better. So I think Hunter probably needed a bit more attention sooner. So this is good. Anyways, at level 3, Hunter's Prey. Your tenacity can wear down even the most resilient foes. When you hit a creature with a weapon or an unarmed strike as part of the attack action on your turn, the weapon or unarmed strike deals an extra 1d8 damage to the target if it's missing any of its hit points. You can deal this extra damage only once per turn. So basically, it's Colossus Slayer, which we had before for the Hunter. I do wish that we had the options of the other ones. Colossus Slayer is the best option that we have out of the 3 generally, though. But I have seen people use Horde Breaker quite effectively. One nice thing about Horde Breaker is that it is another attack, so you can use it with things like Sharpshooter and your Dex bonus and Magic Bow and arrows and everything else, right? So it can actually deal a lot more damage than Colossus Slayer. The problem with Horde Breaker, though, of course, is you need a second target within 5 feet. It can't be your primary target, so you're forced to split the damage. If there is no second target, you just can't use Horde Breaker. And it doesn't really, if you want to just burn down one target, and then, even though you're doing more damage to a secondary target, it's less damage to that primary target. So I do think that we got the best one of the 3. I want to make that clear. I do think Colossus Slayer is the best of the 3. But I have seen people use Horde Breaker effectively, and under the circumstances where you can use that extra attack on another target, it does do more damage generally than Colossus Slayer. So it would have been nice to maybe have the option, but at least they gave us the best of the 3 options, not the worst. So, either way, this was the one most people took anyways, and, rightly so in my opinion. Level 6, Hunter's Lore. You can now call on the forces of nature to reveal certain strengths and weaknesses of your prey. While a creature is marked by your Hunter's Mark, you know whether that creature has any immunities, resistances, and vulnerabilities, and if the creature has any, you know what they are. That is awesome. I mean, number one, you're probably going to be using Hunter's Mark a lot anyways, especially now that it doesn't require concentration, so it's not interfering with, higher level spells you might have wanted to concentrate on, such as summoned animals and beasts and whatnot, right? The fact that it doesn't use concentration is a complete game changer for hunters, really. But anyways, now, if you're a hunter, when you have your Hunter's Mark on the prey, you also know immunities, resistances, and vulnerabilities. And that is awesome. I like that it doesn't require you to spend an action or another bonus action. Or, like a Student of War where you spend a full minute studying the target. It's just, you have your Hunter's Mark on it. You know what you need to know. That is excellent. And let's face it, dealing with immunities and resistances and vulnerabilities really sucks. Especially for your spellcasters. Nobody wants to use a high level spell slot and then they find out that the creature is actually immune to that damage type, So if you can just be like, oh, they're immune to fire, and then everybody in the party's like, oh, okay, thank you for telling us. Anyways, level 10, multi-attack. You now always have the Conjure Barrage prepared, and it doesn't count against the number of spells you can prepare. You can also cast the spell with a first or second level slots. When you do so, the spell's damage is reduced by 1d8 for each slot level below third. I think this is definitely better than what we had before. And before you either had volley at 11 or whirlwind attack, which were basically the multi-attack options we had then, right? We just got them at 11 instead of 10. And, I mean, neither one of them were great. They both kind of required you to hit a bunch of different things that all had to be grouped up. And this kind of goes back to what I was talking about with Horde Breaker, except that it's a much higher level ability, and honestly, it's just kind of even worse. Because at least with Horde Breaker, you're putting your 2 normal attacks into one target, and then you're shooting another target. This one, you're forced to shoot each target like one different time. They all have to be within 10 feet of a point you can see. Whirlwind attack, use your action to make a melee attack against a number of creatures within 5 feet of you with a separate attack roll for each target. I mean, how many targets do you have within 5 feet? Like, maybe you have 2. Do you have 3 or 4? Do you have 6? I mean, that's pretty unlikely, you know? So, yeah, I always just thought that multi-attack was a really kind of weak option for Hunter to begin with anyways. So, I do feel like this is probably better. I also like that you can use it with low level spell slots. We'll see what Conjure Barrage looks like in the new edition, and maybe it's a better spell. I was never a huge fan of it before, but I was never a huge fan of multi-attack, so whatever. Level 14, Superior Hunter's Defense. When you are hit by an attack roll, you can use your reaction to halve the attack's damage against yourself, and you can redirect the other half of the damage to one creature other than the attacker that you can see within 5 feet of yourself. Again, they seem to really think at Wizards that we're all just standing surrounded by enemies or something within 5 feet of us. That we just have this, never-ending options of just redirecting or attacking things that are always within 5 feet of ourselves or each other or whatever. I don't know. It's like the idea that a ranger might use a bow or something and not have something within 5 feet of them has just never occurred to them. But whatever, you can still have the damage, and there may be circumstances where you can direct the other half to a creature, which is still better than nothing, I guess. We used to have Superior Hunter's Defense at this level, where you got like evasion, stand against the tide, or uncanny dodge, and you had to make a choice between the 3. I mean, this is basically uncanny dodge. You can use your reaction to have the damage against you, except that if you have a target within 5 feet, you can redirect it to it. So, I mean, it's a level sooner, and you have the redirect damage option. So it is technically better. I just don't know how much, it's not a lot better, I don't think, because I don't really usually plan on having multiple enemies within 5 feet of me, especially if I'm playing a ranged character. Now, granted, you might be playing a melee ranger, in which case that could be a different story. You might get a lot more value out of it then. Overall, though, I think that hunters look to be doing very well in here. I like the addition, rangers in general, I like the addition of cantrips. I like getting spells at first level instead of second. That's nice. And especially for hunters, the level 6 ability, Hunter's Lore, is excellent, I think. Knowing the immunities, resistances, and vulnerabilities of the target when I have my Hunter's Mark on them, which I will probably always have since it doesn't require concentration anymore. That's an excellent ability. So I feel like Rangers were already a class that started rather weak in the player's handbook, but have just gotten steadily better. And this next iteration of Rangers, if things don't change a lot, look to be possibly even better. So, all good in my opinion. Like I said, I really like the level 3 and 6 abilities, especially on the Hunter. And like I said, getting spells earlier is great. Getting cantrips is also great, especially guidance on like skills type classes. Yeah, it's just awesome. So anyways, those are my thoughts on the Ranger. Thank you for watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, ring the bells for notifications, and most importantly, leave me your comments in the comment section. I will be doing D&D Rogue as well soon, and probably have that up the day after this one goes up. So anyways, that's everything, and I'll see you next time. Bye.